Hey, I'm Dark Steel, and this is another episode of Prepper Fridays, and today's sweater is no sweater at all. Quit being so judgmental of what another person wears. It's not that I've run out of sweaters, I just thought I'd change things up a little bit today. So this week's video is going to be on the topic of building your prepper network or group. Also, stick around to the end of the video for my prepper tip of the week. If you go back to my first ever Prepper Friday, I cover the subject of minimum viable population, and that's really why this one's important. The first thing I found whenever I looked online was somebody saying not to build your prepper network because you open yourself up to other people knowing where you are, knowing what you've got, everything like that. Well, not if you're cautious, not if you're strategic about it, and you need to be cautious because there are pros and cons, and there's a lot of prepper activity that you don't necessarily want yourself associated with. So you've got to vet them, and it does require sticking your neck out. Anytime you gain anything worth having in this world, there's risk involved, and there's going to be a lot of risk. The more risk, the more you usually end up potentially gaining. And so it's up to you. You've got to figure out what you risk by doing this and what you gain by doing this, but remember that not doing this comes with its own risks, because as I mentioned in the minimum viable population, you on your own are going to have a lot of trouble taking care of your everyday needs, of the needs of your people, if you're just, your family. There's a lot of jobs to be done, and one person can't tackle them all and actually ever accomplish getting back to life. So you're running into a risk either way. Now, personally, in my opinion, I think that a close-knit group is better than a full network, but you might have trouble achieving the first one, and so end up going with the next. Because in a close-knit group, you end up with people that you know, that you can trust, that are all working close together, and it's not so much sharing resources with other groups and trading as it is just kind of collectively coming together with the same goal in mind. But another option, and it's probably going to be an option a lot of people are forced to go with because of the, first off, distrusting nature of most preppers, but also the challenges faced in getting your group all in one solid location, is getting to know all of the prepper groups that are nearby, or maybe not all of them, but a bulk of them that are nearby, and opening up trade, opening up a sense of community through just kind of common goals, in that if this person is capable of growing something that you can't, you can trade with them. If this person has a resource on their property, such as sand or clay or something like that, that's not a resource on yours, opening up trade. And the best time to be doing this is before we get into a situation where people need it. The best time to be doing this is right now, when we all still have the ability to survive without each other, so that we can build a better bond, a better relationship with each other, and not run into a can I trust you, can I not trust you, well, it doesn't matter because I have to do this right now anyway, sort of situation. You want to be negotiating from a point of strength, and so right now is the best time to open negotiations. A tip I've got for you on this, and this is actually how I open negotiations every time I start talking to a new person that I've never met before, is I start off with a promise. My promise is, I promise to always be absolutely honest about what it is I want from you. If I say something that I think is weird or might be scary to you or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway, because you need to know what it is that I'm looking for from you. Never trust a person whose deal doesn't look better from their side than it is from yours, because I guarantee you, nobody makes a deal that's not going to work out better for them. And if they're trying to hide how that is, don't trust them, because they're trying to slip something behind you. Be upfront about everything that it is you want, and I mean the most frightening aspects of your deal, the things that are going to send people running. Because if it's going to send them running now, it's going to send them running later, and it's better to know that right now anyway. But also it helps build trust between you that you're not trying to sneak stuff behind them. Now, my ideas about prepping are the same as my ideas about art, which is I'm part of Rowanwood Art, an art community, and it's my same idea about YouTube or any other basic form of business, is that as long as we're all competing, only one of us can win. And that, I mean, that person often doesn't even end up truly winning. If we all start to work together, if we all collaborate, if we all come together with a unified goal, then we can all succeed. The success might be more marginal, but it'll be spread out over this entire group, which benefits each other, and it's more sustainable. It lasts a lot longer, it grows a lot more steady, because we can help each other. But on top of that, and this is the sales pitch we make at Rowanwood Art for artists, which is Rowanwood Art is an artist guild that is invitation only. So we only give these invitations out to certain people that we think are super talented. But the sales pitch on this is, and this is the truth of it, instead of us all trying to figure out our own advertisement, instead of us all just going it alone and hoping people see us, if every one of us says, you can view my art at Rowanwood Art, it gets views, it gets more views from each person's specific audience over the whole network. So through this this basic concept of networking, we're able to grow and show more success, but also we're able to share that success with the people who are essentially the working parts of the network, and I'm myself am one of them, a Rowanwood artist. But so the reason I went into this, even though that's not really prepper based, is because the same philosophy is in the setting up your prepper network. Like I said, close-knit group, better. Network, okay. No network at all leaves you stranded and defenseless. So unless you're planning on running, you end up in a situation where it's going to be a lot harder for you to sustain your way of life. When we're all growing, when we're all expanding, then we all help each other. And so the goal there is to see the other ones expand and grow, because that benefits you. Always try to make sure that anybody working with or for you is working for themselves, because the first person, anybody, and I mean anybody, the most selfless person you know, any humanitarian, any philanthropist, the first person they're going to take care of is themselves. And it's a good move. It's a smart move, because if you can't take care of yourself, then you have no right to take care of somebody else. You have no ability to take care of somebody else. So the first person everybody's going to take care of is themselves. It's in the basis of our nature. And if you make sure that the people that you are trying to get to take care of you are taking care of themselves first, and that benefits you, then you have a sustainable system of growth. Then you have the ability to expand your situation in a meaningful way that you know will continue to go, because you are basing it on the basic human nature, the basic instinct. Because when society collapses, you run into the problem of social order collapsing. People stopping acting the way that they were acting because it was an act. So these falsehoods, these facades, they drop. And then you're left with the base person. So you need to cater towards that base person and make sure it's catering towards you. So essentially what my group does, and by the way, I'm not the leader of my group, I'm actually second in line to be the leader, but essentially what my prepper group does is we are trying to set up a network of, like I said, I'd rather people come in closer. I'd rather work directly with people. But in the meantime, we are trying to take some of the risk out of people finding their groups. And this only works for the local area. And I know I'm broadcasting this on the internet, and it's not going to be seen by very many people in my local area. But I'm just sharing with you what I do and hoping that you can go ahead and do the same. Is we go out and we seek out people who are interested in joining a prepper network, that are interested in expanding their group, that are interested in following the same basic ideals that we are, and we remove the risk factor of finding new people by offering them our services essentially as prepper agents, because what we are doing is setting up the network and putting our necks out there. And then we allow them to be part of that network while until somebody is really well established, we maintain their anonymity so that they don't have to worry about the backlash of having a conversation with us. We don't just go around saying, oh yeah, we know them and them and them and they're all great and this is what they have, because that would be stupid. That would be very, very stupid. So we keep stuff to ourselves. And I realize that I broadcast a lot of stuff on YouTube. I keep a lot of it to myself. I don't share just everything I do on the internet because, again, that would be dumb. We don't let everybody see everything we're doing, and we certainly don't let everybody see the stuff that other people associated with us are doing, or name them by name or anything like that, because the shyness of preppers is for a good reason. But until we can overcome that shyness, until we can overcome the thing that makes them scared, that makes them go hide in their little holes, in their little encampments or whatever, we cannot put society back together. And like I just said, the best time to be setting up these systems is now, when it's not a life or death situation to have these conversations, when we can just sit down as civilized people in the basis of a society falling apart, though it may be, a society still. We can sit down as civilized people and have a conversation and not... I mean, yeah, there's always going to be a worry that, you know, they come in the middle of the night and try and take what you've got. But right now there's a legal system in place that helps dissuade some of that. Anyway, I realize that right now what I'm doing is putting my neck out there. But here, calling all Northwest Arkansas preppers, contact me. Send me an email. You can contact me on my Facebook, on my Twitter. Get in touch with me, because at very least, if nothing else, I am here and ready to have a conversation. The next thing is, let your freak flag be your filter. Be who you are. Don't hide from them. Don't tell other people that you are this person when you're actually this person, because you want to make a lasting relationship based on who you are. You don't start a partnership of any kind, whether we're talking in the business world or whether we're talking in the prepping community or anything like that. You do not start a relationship based on a lie, because sooner or later that lie comes out and your partnership dissolves. You need to be basing it on who you really are. And if I don't take intolerant people into our group of any other group, but you want to know that before you get into a group, and people will be more trusting if you just go ahead and say, this is who I am. Let that freak flag fly and stop saying, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but just have this conversation. Just be brave, because you're going to need bravery to survive anyway. Now's a good time to practice. If you look at the rest of my channel, you'll find my eccentricity, and I do not keep anything under wraps as far as who I am. I am who I present to the world, and even if I'm playing a character, my personality still leaks through. So I try to project out who I am at all times, because honesty is the best policy. Not just trying to sound cliche, but again, you are setting up a system for failure if you are basing anything on anything but the truth. The next, and one of the most important things that you're going to have to think about, is actually covered in one of my other Prepper Friday videos, which is making yourself valuable post SHTF. And that needs to be figured out now, needs to be carried through now, you need to have a mission statement about yourself, because you are essentially selling yourself to this other group, whether you're joining theirs or whether you're trying to get them to join you. You are selling yourself, your personality, your ideals to another person, and so you need to know what they are, and you need to make yourself look valuable to them. If they don't need you, they will not accept you. They need to feel like, oh my God, I just gained a big piece for my puzzle. So in my first Prepper Friday video, Minimum Viable Population, I gave the prepper tip of the week on how to use a cotton ball to start a fire relatively successfully using a magnesium fire starter. So go check that out if you're interested in that. But this brings us to this week's Prepper Tip of the Week. Thanks to Hoople's Cat's Emergency Preparedness Lifestyle. And so here's a shout out to you. I will put a link to your Thursday Fun video in the description of this one. But also, I'm going to put the link to this this other video, which is by Hikin' Deep. And she's a prepper that that I thought was pretty cool because she's nearby where I live, which is why I clicked on this video in the first place. But then the video itself kind of blew me away with this really simple, really cool technique for starting a fire. And so I really suggest going and checking that out and giving her some likes and some views. So that was kind of a prepper tip of the week and a shout out all kind of rolled up in one. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I hope you've enjoyed some of my other Prepper Fridays. If you haven't seen any of my Prepper Fridays, then you might go check those out. I will post another one next Friday, and in the meantime, I'll probably post some, I'll see if I can do some skits and other things on this channel, but also go check out Dark Steel Knives if you're interested in my award-winning personality. Because I've got a lot going on over there as well, including Community Tuesdays, which once a week on Tuesday I give shout-outs to, I give a shout-out to a specific channel, whoever's, they have to be subscribed to me to gain it. I allow you to post the link of your channel, even if you're not a subscriber, I allow you to post the link of your channel in the comments below that so other people can go check it out. I comment on my favorite comments of the week from either one of my channels. I also raise a question of the week and post that in the comments as well so that you guys can respond to it. And it's all just kind of the idea of growing together as a community because, like I said, this is my basic concept no matter what I'm talking about. Whether I'm talking about YouTube, whether I'm talking about business, or whether I'm talking about prepping, I am talking about working together, finding that community, and helping each other grow. So, if you're interested in that, I will also post the link to my other channel, Dark Steel Knives, in the description, and you can check out, even though it's not Tuesday anymore, you can still go and watch my my Tuesday videos, and you can still post your link there if you're interested in giving yourself a little bit of exposure. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, hope for the best, plan for the worst. So in my first one, the minimum... So in my first Prepper Friday, the minimum value... So in my first Prepper Friday video, the minimum